No one at SiriusXM expected chaos that morning. Howard Stern had walked into the studio like he always did, coffee in hand, sarcastic grin ready, producers already tense. The topic list on the screen was familiar: celebrity hypocrisy, royal drama, and, highlighted in red, Prince Harry's latest interview. Howard leaned back in his chair, adjusted his headphones, and sighed. "All right," he said into the mic, voice calm but sharp, "we need to talk about Prince Harry again." Because apparently, the man cannot stop talking. The phones lit up instantly. Howard chuckled. "See, even the listeners are tired." For months, Howard Stern had been one of the loudest critics of Prince Harry's media tour, Netflix documentaries, memoirs, interviews. Howard didn't hate Harry, he insisted. But what he hated was what he called selective honesty. "You can't spend your life demanding privacy," Howard said, tapping the desk, "and then sell every painful detail to the highest bidder." What Howard didn't know, what no one in the studio knew, was that Prince Harry himself was listening. An unexpected call. Across the Atlantic, in a quiet California home, Prince Harry sat at a kitchen table, phone pressed to his ear. Meghan had just stepped out, and the radio was still on. Howard Stern's voice filled the room. "This guy claims trauma," Howard continued, "but he's cashing checks every time he mentions it." Harry's jaw tightened. He'd ignored criticism before. British tabloids had trained him for that. But this felt different. This wasn't gossip, it was judgment. Public, blunt, and mocking. Harry stood up and began pacing. "He doesn't know me," Harry muttered. Back in New York, a producer whispered urgently into Howard's headphones. "Howard, we have Prince Harry's team on line 3. Howard froze. He blinked once. "You're joking." The producer shook his head. Howard smiled slowly. "Oh," he said into the mic, voice suddenly electric, "this just got interesting." Going live. Howard leaned forward. "All right, listeners. This is not planned. But apparently, Prince Harry wants to respond." The studio went dead silent. Howard pressed a button. "Prince Harry," he said, "you're live." There was a pause. Then a calm but firm voice came through the speakers. "Howard," Harry said, "I didn't plan to call. But I feel I have to." Howard raised an eyebrow. "Well, welcome to the show." Listeners across the world stopped what they were doing. Social media exploded before Harry even finished his first sentence. "I've listened to you for years," Harry continued. "And today, you crossed a line." Howard leaned back. "Did I?" "Yes," Harry said. "You're reducing real trauma to entertainment." Howard exhaled sharply. "No, Prince Harry. I'm criticizing how you sell it." The tension was instant. Thick. Uncomfortable. Harry's voice hardened. "You have no idea what it's like to lose a parent the way I did." Howard nodded slowly, even though Harry couldn't see him. "You're right," Howard said. "But millions lose parents without book deals." The studio gasped. The argument ignites. Harry's calm cracked. "So because I'm famous, I'm not allowed to speak." Howard fired back immediately. "You're allowed to speak. You're not allowed to play victim forever while living in a mansion." Phones rang non-stop. Producers waved frantically, signaling Howard to cool down. He didn't. "You walked away from the royal family," Howard continued. "Fair. Your choice. But don't act shocked when people question your motives." Harry stopped pacing. "My motives," he said quietly, "were survival." Howard paused, for half a second. Then why keep reopening the wound?" Silence. For the first time, Harry hesitated. A crack in the armor. "You think this is easy?" Harry asked. "You think I enjoy reliving it?" Howard's tone softened, just a little. "No, I think you enjoy controlling the narrative." That hit. Harry swallowed. "The narrative was written for me since birth. And now," Howard replied, "you're rewriting it, very profitably." The clash wasn't loud anymore. It was sharper. More personal. Listeners could hear the strain in Harry's breathing. "I expected better from you," Harry said. Howard sighed. "And I expected honesty." The breaking point. A producer rushed up to Howard, whispering urgently. "This is going viral already." Howard waved him off. Harry's voice trembled. "You sit there, protected by humor, while tearing people down." Howard leaned into the mic. "And you sit behind titles you claim you hate." That did it. "Stop," Harry snapped. "You don't get to define me." Howard responded instantly. "Then stop selling yourself." Dead air. For 3 seconds, an eternity in live radio, no one spoke. What no one expected. Then Harry did something no one saw coming. I called, he said quietly, because I thought you'd listen. Howard blinked. The studio held its breath. I am listening, Howard said. But listening doesn't mean agreeing. Harry let out a long breath. Then maybe, he said, this was a mistake. Howard didn't stop him. Well, Howard replied, that's live radio. The line went silent. Prince Harry had hung up. Aftermath begins. The studio erupted. Producers shouted. Phones rang. Twitter melted down. Howard stared at the microphone, unusually quiet. Wow, he finally said. That just happened. Outside the studio, headlines were already forming. Howard Stern versus Prince Harry, live radio meltdown. But what the world didn't know yet, what would surface in the next 24 hours, was that the argument was far from over. Because Prince Harry wasn't done talking. And Howard Stern wasn't done responding. By the time Howard Stern removed his headphones, the damage was already done. Screens across the SiriusXM control room flashed non-stop. Twitter trends, breaking alerts, clipped audio waves. A producer stared at his tablet, pale. It's everywhere, she said. BBC, CNN, Sky News. Even the Palace press desk is calling. Howard rubbed his face. Of course they are. Within minutes, the clip titled, Howard Stern Humiliates Prince Harry Live, hit 10 million views. Another version framed it differently. Prince Harry stands up to Howard Stern in Raw on-air showdown. No one agreed on who won. But everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't over. The world takes sides. By noon, the internet had split clean down the middle. One side cheered Howard. Finally someone said it. Howard asked the questions everyone's afraid to ask. You can't monetize pain forever. The other side rallied behind Harry. Mocking trauma is disgusting. Howard crossed a moral line. Harry was brave to call in live. Celebrities jumped in. Therapists posted long threads. Former royal aides spoke anonymously. Even veterans groups weighed in, debating whether Harry's public storytelling helped or harmed awareness. Howard scrolled through his phone backstage, expression unreadable. They're acting like this was planned, he muttered. A producer hesitated. Harry's team says, he didn't expect it to escalate. Howard scoffed. Neither did I. Prince Harry breaks his silence. That evening, Prince Harry released a short statement. No press conference. No interview. Just words. Today I spoke up in a moment of frustration. Trauma isn't entertainment, and speaking about pain isn't the same as exploiting it. I stand by my right, and the right of others, to tell their stories in their own way. The statement went viral in minutes. But what caught attention wasn't what he said. It was what he didn't say. No apology. No mention of Howard Stern by name. That silence spoke loudly. Behind closed doors. In New York, Howard Stern sat alone in his office long after the studio emptied. The bravado was gone. He replayed the call, not the loud moments, but the quiet ones. Harry's hesitation. That line, I called because I thought you'd listen. Howard leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Damn it, he murmured. For the first time in years, Howard wondered if he'd misjudged the room, not the argument, but the man. The second call. The next morning, Howard went live again. Listeners expected fireworks. They got something else. Yesterday, Howard began, voice calmer, wasn't radio theater. It was real. And real conversations are messy. The phones rang immediately. Howard raised a hand. Before anyone calls, Prince Harry, if you're listening, I'm not walking anything back. Gasps. But, he continued, I will say this. I don't doubt his pain. I doubt the system that profits from it. The room stilled. Howard exhaled. There's a difference. At that exact moment, a producer's eyes widened. Howard, she whispered. Line 1. Howard stared at her. No, he said quietly. She nodded. Yes. Howard closed his eyes. Then pressed the button. Round 2. Howard, Harry said, voice controlled, guarded. I didn't expect to call again. Howard replied evenly. Neither did I. This time, no sarcasm. No jokes. Just two men, fully aware the world was listening. You asked why I keep reopening wounds, Harry said. Because if I don't, others will. And they'll get it wrong. Howard nodded slowly. Fair. Harry continued. But you framed me as a product. That's where you lost me. Howard leaned forward. And you framed yourself as powerless. That's where you lose people like me. Silence. Harry absorbed that. So what do you want? Harry asked. Howard didn't hesitate. Ownership. Not immunity. Harry frowned. I've never asked for immunity. Howard replied softly, you've asked not to be questioned. That landed. A moment of truth. Harry spoke more slowly now. Do you know what it's like, he asked, to be turned into a symbol before you're old enough to understand it? Howard paused. I know what it's like, he said, to be misunderstood and still be expected to perform. Harry laughed once, short, humorless. So we're both trapped, he said. Howard cracked a half smile. Difference is, I chose my cage. The honesty surprised them both. The unexpected shift. Listeners leaned closer. This isn't about winning, Harry said quietly. It never was. Howard nodded. Then why call me? Harry hesitated, then answered honestly. Because you're loud, he said. And loud people shape opinion. Howard absorbed that. And you? Howard asked. Why stay loud? Harry answered without drama. Because silence almost destroyed me. That stopped Howard cold. The studio was silent. No producer moved. No phone rang. For once, no one interrupted. No winner. No loser. Just fallout. I don't regret speaking, Harry said. But I regret how it looked. Howard replied, I don't regret questioning. But I regret the timing. That was as close as either man would come to apology. Harry sighed. This doesn't fix anything. Howard agreed. No. But it clarifies it. Harry's voice softened. Then we're done. Howard nodded. Yeah, we are. The line disconnected. No drama. No hang up. Just an ending. After the mics went cold. That afternoon, headlines changed tone. Not softer, sharper. Two men. One conversation. No script. Howard Stern and Prince Harry, a clash without villains. The argument that exposed how we talk about trauma. Neither man gave another interview. Neither posted again. But the conversation spread, into classrooms, podcasts, family dinners. People argued. People listened. And some, quietly, rethought their positions. Final image. Late that night, Howard Stern left the studio alone. Across the country, Prince Harry closed his laptop and sat in the dark. Two men. Different worlds. Same echo. Sometimes, the loudest arguments don't end with victory, they end with understanding.